You've reached the Try Hard podcast. Leave a message after the beep.
Hey, Liz here. Just your totally neurotypical, not anxious girly that hates recording her voice and herself. So I am challenging myself to call my members of Congress and just kind of tell them about, my disappointment in them and saying yes to the big, beautiful bill that is actually not big and beautiful. It is horrible. So wish me luck. I hate phone calls of all sorts. I can't wait to receive the voicemail inbox of these people.
So much of trying something new is about interrogating the stories you tell yourself about yourself. You're an athletic person, or you're not. You're creative, or you're not. You are a people person, or you're not. I think my favorite part about talking to people who are trying new things is watching them edit the stories they tell about themselves in real time. Because you don't actually stay static for your whole life. You evolve, and your life changes, and your interests wax and wane. You become a different person. Or maybe you stay the same. Welcome back to Try Hard. On every episode of this podcast, we're talking to somebody who's doing something they never thought they could do. I'm Alex Sujong Laughlin. And this week's guest has always thought of herself as an extroverted people person. But the last few years has her questioning that story.
My name is Zakiya Gibbons, and I am a tryhard.
Zakiya Gibbons is an award-winning journalist. She's a host, story editor, podcast producer, writer, and voice actor based in Brooklyn. She is also my friend. Okay, so tell me, what are you hoping to do?
I wanted to get back into dating, so I decided to do it through queer speed dating. I've been off the apps, and I've really been enjoying my solitude. But lately, I've been feeling little glimmers of flirty energy and kind of wanting to be on a date. But now that I'm not on the apps, I'm like, oh shit, I have to talk to people IRL and put myself out there. So I want to be better at doing that. And especially as a bisexual, I am wanting to lean more into queer dating and not just take the low-hanging fruit of dating cis dudes, because I'm not enjoying that at all.
Wait, so talk to me more about the low-hanging fruit of dating cis dudes.
Oh my God, I don't know where to begin. I just energetically, personality-wise, and culturally, there just tends to be a lot of factors that make me feel not super compatible or just enjoying the dynamic of dating cis guys. And that's not all men, but I would say the majority of the time I'm sitting on a date with usually a cis het guy, and I'm just like, I really don't like this. I don't like this conversation. I don't like how I feel. I don't like the dynamics at play interpersonally. But it feels like low-hanging fruit because as a femme, cis woman, I've been socialized to date men, and I know the playbook very well of, the dynamic between a man and a woman dating. I've been trained to know how these dynamics go.
What are the dynamics? Can you talk more about them?
Oh my gosh. Because as you work in podcasting, I feel like sometimes, regardless of the gender, I sometimes fall into podcast host mode. So I'm like, oh, I'm good at asking questions. I'm good at active listening. So I'm trying to learn to not take the reins in a conversation. But I feel like a lot of times with a lot of cis het dudes, they'll just talk at me. And if I'm already feeling socially depleted, sometimes I'm like, it's just easier to just let them talk at me, and then I'll pipe in with a question. Or I feel like I'm at work. You know what I mean? I think there's just a dynamic of women doing a lot of emotional labor that seems invisible, but still laborious, while at the same time still looking like chill and pretty and like,
It's fascinating to hear you talk about this because I think that like for people who have only dated in one way, dated one gender, I think the idea that there would be different like cultural scripts that you would fall into in a conversation could be surprising.
Yeah. And it's funny because I can't help but to be myself for better or for worse. So it's not like I'm a completely different version of myself depending on the gender of the person I'm sitting across from on a date. But I think that between two people that are informed by gender, race, age, just human interaction is
past history.
Exactly, past history.
Yeah.
Just in general, human interaction oftentimes is dictated by all of these other factors in general. And I guess I'll be vulnerable and real. I feel like one of the reasons I took a break from dating is that I just didn't have the capacity. I didn't want to. My desire tank was at 0, which is new for me. But I was just like, I cannot do this and I do not want to do this. And I was just wanting to rest. I wanted to prioritize myself and my needs. I wanted to fill my own tank. And it just felt like bringing other people into the mix would just hinder that progress and nurturing. And especially, men hinder that for me. Like that, I just don't know how else to say it. There's just, even if the person you're talking to is a lovely person, there's still, and so I just needed to be more grounded within myself.
You find yourself like building scaffolding underneath the relationship, even if you don't actively want to.
Yes.
You're like, I have to hold up. I have to make sure that this is a fun time for them. And like, it's my job to care about whether like they think I'm funny or cool or having a good time or if they're comfortable or like all this stuff.
Yeah. I feel like I am a people pleaser and I am always very concerned. I'm like, is this comfortable? Is the conversation flowing? And even if I feel uncomfortable, I've noticed that I'll put my feelings on the back burner and be like, I forget to check in with myself. Like, wait, am I having a good time? It's also hard to talk about because I'm like, it's been so long that I've been on a date. Like, I feel like I'm not my best version of myself on dates. Like I fall back into bad habits.
It makes sense because when your resources are taxed in some way, whether that's social battery, your energy, or even like your confidence, you revert back to the patterns that are most deeply ingrained in you.
Absolutely.
And so for you, for a cis woman who is socialized in a very like hetero society, it is easiest to slip into this really sort of like over catering role interpersonally with somebody, especially if it's a man.
Yeah. And then I feel like I get extra drained in a dynamic where I'm like, this is easy. I got this. And I actually feel really confident in that dynamic. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm enjoying that dynamic. Whereas a lot of times, and of course, every individual is different. But in general, when I'm going on dates with women, I'm like, damn, she's so hot and she's so cool. And I get intimidated. And then feeling less confident makes me feel awkward and unsure of myself. And then it starts like an internal like waterfall of all these different emotions that make me feel like, okay, Mayday. Whereas with guys, I can be on autopilot and it feels like a confidence boost to be like, wow, I'm on autopilot and I'm like acing this date, but I don't like this person at all. You know what I mean? And so that's like in a nutshell.
So how long have you been off of the dating market?
For real, January 2025. It just felt so correct. And I thought that I would be like fiending for it. Like, oh, I kind of miss swiping, or like, who all is out there? Do I have FOMO? But I actually don't miss it. And I was planning on just being off of it for a few months, but now it's been 8 months since I've been off the apps and I've never felt mentally healthier. But lately, and I think as the seasons change, the sun was coming out, I'm wearing my booty shorts. I'm just like, oh, it would be nice to, I don't know, kiss a pretty girl or go on a date, sit across from a hot person while sipping on wine. So yeah, now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to get back out there.
Yeah, I mean, dating and like dating in an earnest way where you are dating somebody that makes you excited and nervous is, I think, one of the ultimate try hard experiences in that it's one of those things where you're like, I could just skip it. I could just not do that and not go through this torture because every part of it is miserable. The anticipation and then actually being there. It's like afterwards, you've dissected everything that you've said and you could just not.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to just not. But also, this thing you want, whether it's companionship or love or a friendship or whatever, you only get that on the other side of going through these experiences.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
I will say, I feel like I'm in the minority because I love those feelings. Like it's rare for me to have a crush feeling. So whenever I do feel crush feelings, I love feeling out of control and like, oh my God. And I love the anticipation. I love being drunk in love. Or I'm using love very lightly, like drunk and and the fantasy of it all. But what I don't enjoy is just sifting through the shit. And like the process of it is exhausting. And I was always left feeling disappointed and or disrespected with men. And that's not to say I haven't had those experiences with women. But yeah, so I think it was just like the process was arduous.
And so all of this stuff that we were just talking about is like why you were taking a break from dating broadly. But I want to talk even more specifically about queer dating and like dating essentially just non-cishet men. Do you feel rusty?
I feel like in general, I'd been feeling rusty in all my social interactions because I feel like I'm still, as I think a lot of people are, recovering socially from COVID lockdown, and I live alone. And I haven't been in an office since 2020. So like my life is very solitary. So I feel like in general, I'm like, damn, I forgot how to talk to people.
Yeah. I live on my little computer screen.
Yes.
That's my whole world.
Exactly. And so I feel like in general, I'm rusty. And I feel like that rustiness is feeding into this feeling of insecurity and inadequacy. I feel a little bit humming in the background whenever I am dating women, but that is just like the plight of being like a femme bisexual woman. Like we all unfortunately have so much internalized biphobia of like, oh, I don't feel gay enough for this, or like, am I good enough for that? Or am I like, so that's what I mean. That's just something I need to work on.
Yeah. When we were talking about how you could possibly work on this, I don't remember if you or I had the idea that you would go to a queer speed dating event.
Yeah.
But basically we were like, okay, well, if this feels cringy, let's go all in. Let's do the cringy thing.
Yes. Yeah, no, I was thinking, I'm like, what is something that encapsulates all the things that I want to do, and yet I feel too cringy and awkward and nervous to do. And that is queer speed dating. Speed dating in general, because I'm like, oh God, talking to 30 fucking strangers all at once.
No.
Oh,
it's
my
like
God.
sorority rush.
Oh my God. I do not know what that's like, but just the thought of it was stressing me out, because I'm just like, what if I like my social battery gets depleted in the middle of it, and then I turn so awkward, and then what if I have a panic attack, or what if this, what if that,
what if you're really sleepy after?
Yeah, exactly. Or like, what if like I show up in a bad mood and I can't shake the bad mood, and then they think I'm rude, and then I'm in my head thinking like, oh no, they think I'm rude, and then I overcompensate. Blah, 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 blah.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. Sometimes like the thing that I feel like is the biggest monster in our heads is like a fear that something will be uncomfortable. It's not even the actual discomfort. It's just a fear that it might be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best solution is to just dive headfirst into the uncomfortable moment and be like, we're here, we're queer, we're uncomfortable, we're doing
Yeah,
this.
no, exactly. So I'm from Georgia, and I love being hot. I love
dogs.
warm weather.
Woof, woof.
Yes, go dogs. And then so it reminds me, like, whenever I like go to the beach here, I'm like, the water is cold. And people are always like, just dive in, just dive in, just dive in. But I cannot. I always have to inch my way in, squeeze my friend's hand, and scream like, ah! And then eventually I get in, I'm like, okay, I love the water. I'm splashing around for hours and hours.
How did you prepare to go to speed dating?
Maisha Battle really helped me. She's a sex educator and a dating coach, and she has a podcast called How's Your Sex Life? I was actually a guest on it a while ago, and I connected with her, and she's so great. And she's also like a Black bisexual femme woman. So I was thinking like, oh, she'd be perfect to help me and support me in facing this, I don't even want to call it fear, but this cringe I have around just putting myself out there and doing queer speed dating. And so she was just really helpful in just having a space to just name my cringe and fears, and her just affirming and just being like, yeah, these are actually like very common thoughts and feelings that people have, especially femme bisexual women, of just like feeling inadequate, not feeling good enough, or all of these things. And it was like pretty much a therapy session. I did this intake with her, and she was asking me questions like, think back to childhood, like what informed your sexuality, and what were your first sexual experiences, and what were your first crushes, and just zooming out on myself gave me context to why I am the way I am and why I approach sex and dating the way I do. And that gave me clarity on what I want to work on and where my pain points are and how they show up when I am dating.
So did you have any like lessons in your pocket going into the speed dating event that you were like, okay, here's what I'm going to remember?
Yeah. She'll help me come up with some just tricks and tools and one-liners to keep in my back pocket. You know, little things like, you look familiar, like even if they don't, and then just see like what they say, or have
little
like a
conversation topics.
Exactly. Like have like, yeah, conversation topic that I can just reach in my back pocket and whip out. I'm a professional yapper. I'm a podcast host. So I usually am never worried about not knowing what questions to ask or what to say, but I've never done speed dating. So I was nervous that my social battery would be like really depleted. So it was helpful to learn these tricks that I guess are like common knowledge, but I had never used or employed because I'd never been in this situation before. And yeah, so even just like knowing that I have things that I could rely on eased the pressure. And another thing I did to prepare, I had a glass of wine beforehand just to loosen up. And that,
yeah,
honestly, that helped.
Okay, so tell me about the speed dating event. Like, I've never been to a speed dating event, so I have an image in my mind of what it's like, where it's just like tables and one group just rotates around. Yeah. But tell me, what was it like?
Yeah, I had never been speed dating before. I've only, seen it on TV.
And it's always like very sad on TV.
Yeah, and I think that was like contributing to my cringe, where I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm not saying speed dating in general is cringy, and if you do it, you're a cringy person. This is a me problem. I feel a cringe. And I appreciate earnestness and vulnerability for sure. But I also have a threshold where I'm like, this shit is just too corny. I'm allergic to corniness. I mean, I guess this isn't the worst case scenario. There are worse things in the world. But I was just like, I don't want to be in a room full of corny white tender queers that are not my vibe, and I'm having to sit through like, I don't know, an hour or so of just talking to people that I don't like and are not my vibe. You know what I mean? And so you asked me like how it went. Okay. I was nervous. So I was just like, obviously I'm at my apartment, I'm getting ready. I'm like, obviously I need to have my titties out. So I was getting my outfit together. I'm not trying to brag, but I was like, damn, okay, I look good. I wore knee-high leather boots, fake leather. A mini black leather skirt. And like a baby blue itty bitty top with my titties out. And my face was beat. I had my glass of wine. And okay, I think let's say the event started at 7 and doors were at 6. So I was just like, I don't want to get there right at 6 and use up my social battery waiting for the event to start. And then I have nothing for when the actual dating starts. So I'm like, I'll show up.
So there's like a mixer, like a pre-hang before the speed dating?
Yeah.
That's so much.
It was so much. And then I think there was programming after. So I was just like, I really need to be strategic about my finite level of energy. So I told myself, okay, I'll show up like 10 minutes before so that I can like sign in. I can make sure I'm on time and ground myself while I'm there. So I was like trying to intentionally be a little late. And then I was like, damn, I'm a little too late. So I showed up like 6:57. So
Nice.
still technically on time, but I get there and the main door is a big glass window so I can see inside, and I see everyone already seated, and I'm trying to open the door is locked, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I fucked this up. I arrived too late. I'm fucking up Alex's podcast. Oh no, I'm standing here on the outside, literally peering in. And so I was just like, fuck. So then I'm already nervous, and that was making me so nervous. I'm like, I'm fucking this up. This like really hot person opened the door, and that got me flustered. And then they like invited me in. I was like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, oh, we just had an even number and so many people were already here. We just thought we would just get started early. But here, take a seat at the bar. We're going to work something out. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you so much. Oh, wow. So and it's so awkward. Everyone's already seated. I'm the odd one out, click-clacking in my boots. And people are like looking at me, not in a judgy way, but just like all eyes are on me. You know that feeling when you walk into class late and everyone's heads turn?
The eyeballs.
Yeah, and so I was just like, fuck, this is so awkward already. Oh my God. And so I'm sitting at the bar and everyone starts dating and I'm just off on my own. I get wine number 2. And I'm just like, okay, look cool.
Wait, what is the structure of the dating?
Yes. Okay, so it's a bunch of, like you said, a bunch of tables, like large tables that fit 3 people on one side, 3 people on the other side. So I don't know how many people there were, but there were maybe like 50 people. I don't know. It was several people. It was packed. And everyone had, I think, about 5 minutes. And then one side of the table would just shift down one. And that just kept happening.
Okay. And
people had their drinks or just chit-chatting. And it just sounded like a loud cafeteria. And just, I was already nervous going into it. And then I'm late. I'm the odd person out. And it's just like sounded like a loud cafeteria. So that audio stimulation was like also making me nervous. And so I'm just like, I'm generally just trying to breathe. And I'm trying to remind myself like, Zakiya, you're here. You got this. I'm sure other people are nervous too. And then one of the organizers comes up to me and is like, okay, we found a space for you. Like just next time people shift, just sit right there. And so I'm like, okay. And then I have my first date. And she was so nice. And I told her, in general, it helps for me to just name. I'm an oversharer, for better or for worse. And I always have to say.
Never would have guessed.
I know, it comes as a shock, right? So I just had to name to my date. Like, I'm really nervous. And then she was like, okay, me too. And I'm like, have you done this before? She's no. So we were kind of bonding over having never done this before. And that helped. I'm really grateful that she was my first date. She was really dope, really cool. The conversation flowed. Just to back up a little bit, it wasn't my goal to be like, I want to walk out of here with a girlfriend or with someone I feel like I could fall in love with. It was more so my goal is to just do it and to make it to the other side and to sit through. And there were points where even when I was locked out on the outside, my brain immediately went to, oh, I guess it's not meant to be. Maybe I should just go home. But I'm like, no, I will try to make this work. And in that gray area when I didn't know if they would fit me in, again, like the anxious part of my brain was like, well, maybe it'll be good if it doesn't work out because then you could just go home and, you know.
That's how you know you've picked a good try.
Yes. When you're trying to get out of it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I did that date. It went well. It even, like the buzzer kind of interrupted our flow. And I was like, oh.
So is there a way after you've talked to everybody to like indicate if you're interested in somebody?
Okay. So yeah, from what I'd seen on TV, and I watched Love on the Spectrum. So I'm like, okay, how they did it is that they go on a date and then the organizer of the event gives the people cards and like, okay, write down the names of the people. And if there's a match, then et cetera, we'll match you up. You'll let you know. So I'm like, maybe it'll be like that. But no, with this one, it was just like, okay, shoot your shot. You know, get the IG, get the number right then and there.
Like during the session? Like during your 5 minutes?
Yeah. And so, people were doing that during the 5 minutes.
Stressful.
And then after the speed dating, people could stay in the space and just hang out. So I think there was also a chance to do it then. But there's no facilitating getting the number. It's just, if you want someone's number, get it your damn self.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like, oh, that's stressful. And it's also stressful for me because in general, if I vibe with someone platonically or not, I'll be like, oh my God, what's your IG? Like whenever I'm at a party and there's just someone who's cool or like I am interested in platonically or otherwise, I just ask for IG. So it's not new for me, but I've never asked for someone's IG in the context of dating like that. Because I feel like there's a connotation. If you're asking for their contact info, I feel like that kind of implies you're interested. So doing that wasn't scary, but just being like, oh no, if I ask for someone's IG, are they going to think that I want to date them? And then I'm going to have to navigate, honestly, be direct with my feelings, be like, oh, I'm not feeling you like that.
So did you have any of those moments?
Yeah, everyone was so lovely. Really cool. Swapped numbers, swapped IGs. So if people asked, I gave it to them. So I gave my number out to like several people. And a lot of times it felt friendly. Like, oh, you were cool. I loved talking to you. Let's just be friends on IG. Or, it felt like that.
Which is like very the nature of queer relationships.
Yes.
It's like, are we friends? Are we not?
Exactly. So it was very that.
Wait, did you ask for anybody's number like that you were interested in? Did you have any moments with anybody?
There was no one I was romantically or sexually interested in, but I had a great time talking to people, and I love staying in touch with people that I have a good connection with. So there was a couple times where I was like about to leave, or they were about to leave, and I was like, oh my God, like, what's your IG?
But no, there were no fires.
There was no fire, but I actually closed out the event. Like, people, once the speed dating...
That's so you.
Which I did not expect.
You're like, I'm so anxious to go to this thing and get there late. And you're like, oh, I should just leave. And then you close it out. It's like...
That's so funny. Because, I was surprised. Because I was just like, as soon as speed dating is done, I'm going to grab my little purse and I'm going to leave. No shade to anyone. But I'm like, ooh, that was scary. Bye. But people were just so outgoing and friendly and would come up to me and join my table. And then I'd meet other people. And before I knew it, most people had left. And I'm like, oh, I'm like one of three people. Like, there's like a couple people that were like really hitting it off in the corner. And then I was just talking to a couple people. It felt platonic, just chit-chatting. And I was like, oh, wow, it's like almost 11 p.m. and I'm starving. And wow, this event has been over. So yeah, but I left that feeling, I was in such a good mood. Had a pep in my step. I was so proud of myself because not only did I do it, but I was like, damn, I'm closing it out. I made all these connections. It just showed me like, oh, I still got it. You know what I mean? I just was building it up in my head like, oh, I can't do it. I don't think I'm like cool enough, or I feel like I'm rusty. I feel like I'm socially awkward these days. And it just reminded me like, oh, I'm still me. I thought I lost a core part of my essence, which is being able to connect with people and being open and conversational, but I was able to do it, and everyone was so different, and I was able to make a connection with all these different types of people. It just gave me confidence in myself, and it just made me feel more alive. I'm like, yeah, it was really beautiful and nice. I'm so glad I did it.
Wow, I'm so happy.
Yeah. And it just gave me confidence and like the fire into my ass to be like, okay, who's next? Like, I don't know, it made me excited to date. And it just showed me like, yeah, people are just people, and dating is just hard, period. And it's not that dating women is harder. It's just like a me thing. It's like you said, it was just like the big bad wolf in my head. It was like there was like this monster under the bed, and I finally looked under the bed. I'm like, oh, there's no monster under there. Like, it was in my head. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So what's next for you?
Okay. I actually have a date in a couple weeks.
Oh.
Speaking of meeting people IRL, oh my God. No, I don't think they'll listen to this. They won't listen to this. Oh, goodness gracious. I've been single for 10 years and living in New York for 10 years. And even though I'm always in these streets, like, it's rare for me to meet someone IRL. But ever since I've been feeling the energy within myself to start dating, I have started meeting people. IRL, I guess it's me just putting it out there in the universe. But the first few people I met weren't my vibe, but I was just still appreciative to have just, met someone IRL. I'm like, okay, yeah, it does happen. And at each...
Is this like people approaching you in public?
Yeah, people approaching me, or like I'm at a party and it's like a friend of a friend who's showing interest. Mm-hmm. Someone sliding in my DMs or this or that. And... and so even though they're not my vibe, I'm like, oh, wow, it can happen. And I feel like each time it happened, it's gotten closer and closer to my vibe. And so my friends threw this party about a month ago. And all I'll say is, like, I saw someone, I'm like, oh, I think they're cute. And I approached them. We had a great conversation. And then they slid in my DMs. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go out. And they're cool. So we'll see.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It feels notable also that, like, you saw them and thought that they were cute and approached them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And I feel like the speed dating really helped me, and just because the speed dating ripped the Band-Aid off of initiating conversation. And I feel like I still had that energy in me. I also had a couple espresso martinis, so that helped. And yeah, so I feel like it led up to that moment.
You have to let me know how it goes.
I will. Yeah, the group chat will be on fire. You'll see 7-minute voice notes from me.
Oh, can't wait. I have no doubt that Zakiya is going to have no problem at all getting back out there. But since this is my podcast and because she is my friend, I'm just going to say, you know, if you heard this and you were like, I would really love to get to know her a little better, and you're based in Brooklyn, hit me up. Let me know. Maybe we can do a little try hard Cupid action.
And the curtain can't hide it when all the music quiets 4 strikes and you're out. Photo booth, blood magic. Curtain can't hide it when all the music quiets 4 strikes and you're out. Photo booth, blood magic.
Try Hard is a brand new show, so to help us grow, make sure to leave a review on your podcast app of choice, or tell a friend about the show now, like right now. Text them a screenshot. Try Hard is written, hosted, and produced by me, Alex Sujong Laughlin. Editorial support from Tom Lay, Brandy Jensen, Audrey Mardavich, and Jae Towle Vieira. Justin Ellis is Defector's projects editor. Art by Lille Allen. Our theme song is Photo Booth by Avery Friedman. Mixing by Samantha Gattsek. Jasper Wang and Sean Kuhn are Defector's business guys. Thank you to the rest of the Defector staff. Defector Media is a collectively owned, subscriber-based media company, and Try Hard is a proud member of Radiotopia. I'm Alex Sujong Laughlin, and until next time, don't be afraid to be seen trying.